Morning, folks. Welcome back to DragonWorks. We're back on this 1983 Honda GL1100 Goldwing. And when we left off yesterday at the end of the video, you guys heard that bad engine knock. It was just the ending to one of the craziest diagnostics, because I just kept finding more and more unexpected things wrong with this bike. As you saw, I did discover that I had oil in the coolant, but yet I found no evidence of coolant in the oil. So I was just assuming, until further diagnostics, maybe that was a water pump seal or something similar to that, that'll sometimes allow that. Well, the reason I stopped the video there and didn't continue to go any further is because I basically wanted to ask the customer, you know, this thing sounds like it's got a bad knock. I'm not sure yet. I need to run it more. I need to do some more work, and just wanted to find out with his permission if I could continue to do that. And he determined, he said, yeah, you know, go a little bit further, because he said if I have to pull this motor out, then he's done. He don't want to go any further. Only because the bike needs so much work. It needs front forks, it needs brakes all the way around. We found that coolant situation, so we know that's all got to be taken apart, flushed, tires, the list goes on and on. So then you got motor work, taking the motor out, rebuilding it, you know, another $3,500 or something. Next thing you know, you got $5,000 or $7,000 into a $2,500 Goldwing. You could just go out and buy one already running in good shape, right? So that makes more economical sense. But anyway, I asked his permission. He said, keep going. And what I found is not good. I did not find the actual culprit of the knocking, but I did find out that this puppy is really knocking, and there ended up being coolant in the oil. I ran it more, and the more I ran it, I guess it started mixing up, and I drained the oil again to pull the filter off to look for metal shavings, and I found milky oil. So check this out. You can see what I found. The sad part about it is I ended up checking compression to see if I had a dead cylinder, and compression was awesome. So compression's good, the thing's charging. But apparently somewhere along the line, that coolant mixed with the oil and wiped the bearings out. And I guess that's where we're at right now. But the customer is not going to want to go any further from this point. So he'll either sell it as is or part it out or whatever and recuperate some of his money. All right, guys, check this out. Okay, guys, so yeah, we got a lot of good things going. We got compression, good compression. It is charging. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to unhook the fuel coming out of the tank and hook it into a bottle with some real fresh gas. And it's going to take me a minute to burn the old gas through the carbs. I'm going to see if it runs any better, because I'm not convinced there's a mechanical knock yet. When I drained the oil yesterday to see if it had any antifreeze in it, there was no metal or anything in the oil. So it's hard to believe that there's actually a bearing or something. And now that we got compression, I don't think the piston's beating the valve up or anything like that. So it could just be the fact that it's really missing, and, you know, or pre-detonating. Maybe the gas is bad or whatever. So let's try to get some fresh gas going through it and see what we get. This thing might have hope after all. Okay, while I'm running the gas out of the carbs to get new gas in, I'm going to kind of show you, or let you hear. And of course, you're not hearing the same thing I am on the camera. I wish you could all be here and hear what I'm hearing. But you'll see what it sounds like. It runs great at high RPM. Well, of course, I'm choking it right now because it won't stay running really good without the choke. But you'll hear when it revs up, it actually starts to sound better. And then when the RPMs drop, it really seems like a knock, but it also kind of seems like something in the back here. I don't know. I'm still puzzled, guys. Hang on. Yeah, it's really puzzling because I can actually feel a vibration in it that I didn't really notice yesterday. So it's so hard to tell. I can't tell if that is something really coming apart in there or if it's just, like I say, missing really bad. I got spark on all cylinders. I know that. I got compression. So like I said, I'm going to run this old gas out of the carbs. I'm going to hook up some fresh gas and let's see what it does then. Okay guys, so it does like the fresh gas. It wants to try to run, but unfortunately, what I'm starting to determine is that I definitely got a vibration that I shouldn't have. Of course, if it was missing, it would have a vibration. But what I'm discovering is that the sound, if it was pre-detonation, most likely I would hear sound up here. But where I'm actually hearing the knocking is right smack in the center of that engine. So you go on both sides and it's, and listen, and it sure sounds like it's right in there. So inconclusive so far, for sure. But this thing's got a lot of good things going for it. But that noise is just, well, it's just not good, is it? Like I said, I drained the oil yesterday to check to see if it had coolant, and there was no metal in it. So one of the things I did want to do is pull off the oil filter and see if the metal's actually in there, if there is any metal. And if not, well, I'm going to start tearing the motor apart and find out what the heck's going on. But like I say, it doesn't sound like it's at the top. Unfortunately, folks, after running it and listening to it, it's not changing. It got fresh gas in it. It's warmed up, things like that. If it was pre-detonation, I think I'd notice a difference by now. And the more I listen, the more I can hear that knocking or whatever that noise is in the center of the motor. It's gotten really loud. And I wanted to pull off here, let me go this side. I wanted to pull the oil filter off real quick and check and see if there's any metal in it. But unfortunately, they mounted this front stand on here, which makes it impossible to get that bolt out. So first thing I'm going to have to do is take all this crap off in order to get that filter off of there. So let's see what we find. It's going to take me a minute here. All right, well, it just continues to get crazy. Now look at the oil. Yeah, we definitely got some problems here. Okay, guys, so I'll do the best I can here because there's something I didn't show you yesterday that's pretty interesting, but also has made this tough on me. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let me get on the other side. I think it's a little better. Okay, that is where your drain plug normally is. Sorry about this. Right here. That's usually your drain plug. But they got this contraption on there. It looked like it might have been an oil cooler or something. But anyway, what it is it runs up through here, and there's a stem back there, and somebody put in a dipstick. which is really cool. Of course, you have to take the side cover off to get to it. You would never know it's there. I saw it yesterday there, but didn't really mention it. But anyway, the reason I'm telling you that is because that little teeny drain plug sticking out of there is the actual drain plug now, but it's not down at the bottom of the engine like it should be. So I was probably just siphoning the good oil off of the top because it floats, you know, on the coolant or whatever. So that's probably why I didn't see that. I've got this bar down out of the way. I'm going to pull that filter. But look at this already. I just started draining it. Here, I'll show you. I just pulled this out and started draining it. And sure enough, now, today, it comes out all milky. Go figure, huh? Yeah, from bad to worse to worser. All right, I'm still going to pull that filter and see if I see any metal. Well, surprisingly, I don't have metal. There is some small chunks of stuff in here, but I just... it doesn't feel like metal. It just feels like dirt or something. But as you see today, now that we ran it more, it's definitely got milky oil, which would make sense now. It would have made sense yesterday if I discovered that, you know, the bearings might be wiped out because the coolant's been going through the oiling system and probably wiped out the bearings. So this damage could have already been done. The filter could have been changed. I mean, it looks like kind of newer print on there. Somebody may have already been to this point. See, looks like, I mean, that looks kind of fresh to me. What about you? So, yeah, this discovery could already happen. They might have already cleaned it out and found all that, maybe put it back together. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and call it. This thing needs some major work. And at this point, I don't believe the customer is going to want to spend that kind of money because it needs so many other things. This bike needs everything. I mean, the forks are blown out. There's no brakes on it. Obviously, if the engine was good, the carbs need to be done. On and on and on. And next thing you know, you could buy a good used one already running in better condition than to dump all the money into this. So, folks, sorry to say, I'm going to call it and find out. I think the customer's talking about possibly either selling it as it is for parts or parting it out or something like that. So, well, they don't always end well, unfortunately. I had high hopes for this thing. It's amazing. It's got great compression. It's charging, you know, all those things that normally you don't have. And then we got this horrible knocking in there. And it does sound like it's coming from the crank area. So, all right, guys, I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done and I got to get with the customer. So as far as I know, this will be it. Sorry to say, I would have loved to brought this thing back to life. Thanks for watching.